The Absolute Idiots Podcast.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Hello. My name is James.
And I am Armand.
And we are
The
Absolute Idiots.
That's one of the worst ones we've ever done. Oh,
I think that might be in the top 4, actually.
Top 4?
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. We have been gone for a little while. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty with literally all of our recording software. The team lost it. It was lost in a flash flood.
Yeah, a monster came about. It wasn't pretty. We lost a lot of good men that day.
Yeah, but now we're here. We're all social distancing. The script has been written for today, and we're reading off of it right now. Why does it say that I need to jump 40 times? Let me start doing that.
Oh, 1, 2,
okay, well,
3. All right.
Today, do we have any announcements? Not really. Today we're doing I didn't even bother to hear what James had to say.
Today we are doing something that is probably revealed to you through the title of this video.
It's a would you rather. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We are going to be blasting through this would you rather site. If you want to join along with us, it's at either.io, not either like the either from Thor, the Dark World, but either like either or. And it's either.io. IO is in that character from Paladins that everyone hates.
We were just jamming around, having some fun, and we were like, let's play this common household game. That would be great for our podcast.
Yes. And we might switch to another website at some point if we get bored of this one, but for now, we're starting with a very difficult question, James. Would you rather...
Right. Are we just going to hop into it?
I think so. I mean, do you have any announcements?
I would like to announce that you should have a good day.
Oh. James, would you rather spend a day in the Sahara Desert or a day in the North Pole?
Me personally, I'm definitely much more of a cold guy than a hot guy. Okay. So I have to say that I would rather spend time in the North Pole because you could always wear more layers, whereas in the desert, like you're gonna be like thirsty and like hot. You know, it's gonna be not great. So,
yeah, actually, you know what? I am usually, or I am, not usually. I am a heat person. I love the heat. I love being warm and uncomfortably hot. But I just feel like, I don't know. I think I would rather spend a day in the North Pole. You know, I don't know. I feel like if I was spending a day in the North Pole, it'd be like at a research facility. You know, so I'd be like happy. But like spending a day in the Sahara Desert, actually, well, maybe I'm in like one of those cool Egyptian towns they always have in the cliche of the movie. Now I'm a little torn, because if I'm going to give myself that research facility in the North Pole, I might as well give myself that oasis in the Sahara Desert. You know, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to stay Sahara Desert. I do like the heat a lot more than the cold. But I think it's a very valid point that you can put on more layers than you can take off.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. That's definitely something that influenced my thinking here.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any more qualms with this question? What qualms do you have, viewer? Put it down in the comment section below. Play along with us.
Tell us.
So which one do we want to click on then? We'll click on yours.
Click on...
Wow, a lot of people North Pole.
Yeah, a lot of people like the North Pole. I think it's probably the layers argument for most people. You can just click the arrow at the bottom. There you go.
Would you rather be Rosa Parks or be Harriet Tubman? I hope you know both of these people.
I'm pretty sure I know both of these people. Okay. Yes, I definitely know both of these people.
Okay. For those of you at home who don't know, you motherfuckers. You should know this.
I think personally I would be Rosa Parks because this might sound a little bit shallow, but I'm pretty sure Rosa Parks is more well known than Harriet Tubman.
Interesting.
Just from my own personal life experiences. Like
Okay.
I learned a lot about Harriet Tubman in like 1 year in elementary school, but I like really had never heard of her since then. But I hear about Rosa Parks all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, Rosa Parks, I think. I mean, I'm a little biased because I did a couple school projects on Harriet Tubman
Mm.
throughout my life. One of my favorite historical figures. So
I also just think I just think like Harriet Tubman had a very much tougher of a life, you
that's
know?
true. Her what she did with the Underground Slave Railroad was definitely a lot tougher. But I think that is like, I don't know, that would be more exciting to me. I don't know. And I feel like I would be, I don't know, I think it would have been a lot, it might have been a lot harder for me to sit there and be like unfazed by everything that was going on versus being, like, I think I would have a harder time like sitting there and taking all of that abuse than like running and like actively like under adrenaline like saving people, you know? So
That
I
totally
think,
makes sense.
and also just because of my personal bias, I really like Harriet Tubman, so I would love to be that woman.
I think personally I'm just more of the type of person that would just be able to like sit there
Yeah.
in stone cold silence, you know?
No, I can see that, and I think you are right. I think Rosa Parks is definitely a more, or at least her name is more famous, at least from my lifetime. But I have had a lot more of my life experiencing with Harriet Tubman. So we're gonna go with B. Rosa Parks. We're just gonna go with James's answers for today.
Sounds good.
B. Rosa Parks. Put it down in the comment section below. Which one of these historical women would you want to be? So these are all added by different people. That's interesting. So a lot of
Yeah,
people
they're
agree.
they're all fan made. Oh, it's pretty split on that.
It is pretty
I'm kinda
split. Yeah,
surprised.
that's interesting. I don't doubt that probably people pick Rosa Parks because they don't know who Harriet Tubman is, which is very sad. Would you rather never be able to compliment or never be able to complain?
Oh. Huh. Um. Wow. That's a real interesting one.
Yeah, I thought at first I was about to be like, this is easy, but then I was thinking about it. I was like, that's not exactly.
Yeah, you know, the obvious one to go for here is like never be able to complain, just say nice things all the time. But then
Yeah.
like you think about it, and it's just like
Yeah, what if you
can't ever say your mind. Like, what if your waiter spits in your food or something like that? You know?
What I'm thinking is like, what if you like fall and like break your arm? You can't just be like, it
Oh.
hurts. Like, you just gotta be like, wow, your hair looks nice today, or something. Like, wow, like I'm so thank you for taking me up here, like to this hiking place. You know, like.
Also, how far do you think it would extend? Like, what if you're getting like beaten up or mugged? Would you be able to like call the police and like
See, that's
complain
what I
that you're
want
getting
because, like,
mugged?
obviously, like, complaints like, God, I hate Yoshi. Like, sure, I would somehow be able to live without going, I hate Yoshi in Super Smash Brothers for the rest of my life. But I wouldn't be able to live going like, I've just fallen into a ditch and I can't get out. I mean, like, is calling for help like a complaint? That's like asking for help, I guess.
I think asking for help is probably outside of the jurisdiction.
Then maybe I could. I mean, because even with like your soup example, like you could be like, "Hey, I need some help. This soup needs more salt or something."
Soup example.
Like, is that a complaint or is that a?
I think that leans more towards complaint, in my opinion.
That's
because
true.
like
Yeah.
it's not something like you need, you know. It's just something you would rather have, and so you're like complaining about something you would rather have.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think to be perfectly honest, like I think I could get away in my own life with never being able to compliment people.
Interesting.
Just because, like, I don't know. I feel like in my personality, I could just, like, take that to... I could just, like... I could just... I don't know. I feel like I could incorporate it into my life without it changing
You could just
too
stop
much.
complimenting people and it would go okay.
Which is probably something really sad, but I I think it is what it is.
I think I'm gonna go with never be able to complain. Because
Wow,
have we been the opposite on every single
yeah,
question so far?
we
This
have
is very
not agreed
controversial.
on a single one.
Wow,
Jesus.
wow. Why are we running a podcast together? Jesus.
We should be running an anti-cast.
What's the opposite of pod? A split cast?
A split cast.
It's like a split pea or a peas in a pod. No, I think I would do the never able to complain, but for like the exact reason that you said never be able to compliment. Like all of my complaints are like either about like I just feel like all my complaints are very petty. Like they're all complaints that I could go using that energy for something else, you know, like something more productive. Like complaining about like, you know, working out. Like I don't like working out, but I have to work out, you know? Like what if instead of complaining, like think about how much time I could spend working out instead of complaining about working out, you know? Or like
That's fair. That's fair.
you know, or like Yoshi in Super Smash Brothers. Like obviously, if someone picks Yoshi against me, I'll never really complain, which is horrible. But then I can focus on the matchup and actually, you know, beat the Yoshi instead of being like, I hate that 40% down air. But yeah, my biggest complaint with life is Yoshi in Super Smash Brothers.
For those of you at home, by the way, this is really funny because I used to be a very big Yoshi main.
Yeah, used to be, and I beat it out of him. No, I'm kidding. I used to play some Yoshi.
I mean, I just haven't played Smash in general for a while,
Yeah.
so.
Ugh, that's gonna be a fun video to record. But yeah, I think I would go with never be able to complain. Pretty much for the same reasons that you would go for never be able to compliment.
Yeah.
Just that we live in very different very different lives.
Also, I just think like the things I complain about, like I need to like get off my mind. Like if
That's
I didn't
true.
complain about some of the things that I want to complain about, I just like it just needs to be put on the table, you know, for me personally.
That's fair. That's
So
fair.
yeah.
All right, we'll go with James's answer. Never be able to compliment. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm in the very minority here.
Jordy's with me this time. Okay. Next question. Would you rather live in a castle or own a yacht? This is very easy for me. I don't know about you.
I also think this is pretty easy. I think living in a castle.
Yeah, living in a castle is by far superior.
Yeah.
Unless you have a big yacht, like a huge yacht, like you're not.
I mean, I just don't get the appeal of a yacht that much. It's just
there's like a modernness to it, and like you can go on the water, and that's like an exciting time. But I feel like that's like a gimmick. Like I feel like owning a yacht.
I agree. I definitely agree there. I think living in a castle is kind of epic. Like you just have a big house, basically.
Yeah, but it's like it's also a castle, so like
yeah,
putting up suits of armor and stuff is like a cool thing, you know?
Also, if like the peasants ever try to revolt, you know, it's pretty sturdy.
Yes, you're right. And owning a yacht, you can't just go. Well, actually, and owning a yacht, you can like go out on the water and stuff, which is. Whatever.
Yeah, but you could just swim.
I wonder why all those yacht owners don't do that, James. Wow, you've really blown
They
their
probably
minds.
don't know how to swim, obviously.
No, I mean, I would be surprised if the majority does not go towards living in a castle.
Yeah.
It's just like when you owning a yacht on its own is like, yeah, very cool. But like when you think about a castle compared to a yacht, there's just like even like if you think about it logically, like there's just like in the word castle, there's so much more space than like owning a yacht.
In the word castle. Interesting way of putting it.
All right. Are we set on this one? Do we have anything
I'm
else to
pretty
say?
good. I'm pretty good.
Also, you can booby trap a castle. You can't really booby trap a yacht.
And we all know Armand is very into traps.
I used to be very into medieval stuff. So big. I always like those swinging axes from the walls in like the movies.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So funny.
Yeah,
All right.
that's sick.
You're living with the castle. Wow.
Wow.
That is so much closer than I thought. That's closer than the Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman question.
Yeah, that's crazy. What the heck? Wow, I guess a lot of people like yachts.
Yeah.
Huh,
Sam Dunn really is back at it with these questions, by the way. Ahoy, Your Majesty. Oh, what?
Shout out to Sam Dunn.
Shout out to Sam Dunn. Sam Dunn, if you're watching,
we would love to be sponsored by you. Oh, right.
What did you say?
We would love to be sponsored by you.
Oh. No, we're going to sponsor him.
Oh, of course.
Because technically, now he's the small person. We're the big organization.
Right,
but there goes Sam Dunn. Wow. Would you rather prevent World War II?
This one's pretty obvious for me. I don't know about you.
I'm struggling because I'm a very big I have very big beliefs in not messing with the past.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, if you're still thinking about it, I'm just gonna
go ahead and give your answer while I think about it.
My thoughts. So I agree there that I like the butterfly effect. We have no idea what is gonna happen if we prevented World War II. It's probably gonna World War II is a world-changing event, or was a world-changing event. It completely changed almost every single country, because it's the World War, right? So almost every country was involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it preventing it would have catastrophically different effects. For example, one example. I'm really repeating myself here today. One thing I can think of off the top of my head is I'm pretty sure the United States was going through a depression around the time before World War II, and once World War II started, it created a ton of jobs for people, and it helped boost up the economy quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it just it took the United States out of a depression, right? And so believe it or not, wars are actually very profitable for many countries, just like the example I just listed here. And so, for those reasons, also, I really think, if we didn't have the example set of what horrors could be committed by people, someone else probably would have taken up those reins, right? There's a lot of very sick and twisted people out there, and World War II was just one of them gaining too much power, and so even if it was prevented, I still think some catastrophic event would happen anyways.
And that's the thing is that the butterfly effect of that, sure, prevent World War II, but what if instead of World War II happening, I don't know, someone set off a nuclear bomb, because of the changing of World War II,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I just think it's too unpredictable. If you prevent World War II, anything could happen, whether it be better or worse. And like I already said, World War II was already kind of beneficial for the world in some different ways.
It's not beneficial in all regards, but
well, obviously, it obviously was a horrible.
It was a world-changing event. Let's stick with that.
Sure. And I don't know. I would love a life-changing amount of money in a lottery. I personally, I don't know if this is a very common belief. I think money in our world today, material wealth, is very essential, I guess, for like being able to like pursue true happiness, or like try and pursue what you really want in life. And money is like a very integral part of that. So I would love to have, and also like money is the point of deep stress for quite a few people in this world.
Yeah.
And just to be able to have like a safety cushion to just not be stressed about that would be fantastic, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Why is this the episode that's making us so politically? You wanted us politically active, you listeners. You've got it. The Would You Rather is the most politically charged.
No, we're gonna get canceled, dude. I'm so sorry.
No, because obviously World War II had so many horrible atrocities. Like, yeah, there was like money and things, but like I'm just like the only thing I can continuously think of is like how many people died in the war and how many Jews were murdered in the Holocaust, and it's just horrible. But then I think like, okay, if I prevented World War II, does that mean all of that goes away? Like, I don't know. And on the other hand, the only thing I would do with a life-changing amount of money is, like, donate to charity? So, like, I don't know. You know? I don't know. Because I don't... A lot of money stresses me out. You know? Like, I'm not a great spender. Like, I'm good at saving, and I'm good at, like, you know, oh, I want this, and I'll save up for it. Or I'm good at, oh, I'm going to give this to a non-profit, or whatever. But, like, I don't know. A lot of money, especially in, like, lottery, is, like... Man, that's stressful, man. I gotta find something to do with that, and I mean, charity obviously is an excellent choice. I don't know, but preventing World War II, purely because of my beliefs about changing the past, I'm going to not prevent World War II. Because I'm worried that if I did, like, maybe it means that, like, Hitler does rise to power, but there's no World War II, and he's successful in wiping out, like, the Jewish population in an even worse Holocaust. You know, I don't want to take that chance. Obviously, there's a chance that, like, you know, none of that ever happens, but we don't know. And I'd rather not. I'd rather move forward than look behind, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
For those reasons, I am also going to go with win a life-changing amount of money in a lottery, and I'm going to put it towards preventing World War III. That's what I'll do. Okay, enough of this question stressing me out a little too much. So we're going to both do this. Wow, okay, that's more than I thought. I thought it was going to be a lot closer.
I don't know. I feel like...
You feel like a lot of people want money.
Yeah.
All right, next. Would you rather be convicted as a corrupt politician or be convicted as a corrupt Fortune 500 CEO? And it says, this is from Zach Dunn. It says, in either case, it would be a very public affair and people would have been hurt as a result of your actions.
Wait, so I kind of get what corrupted politician means, right? But what would a corrupted Fortune 500 CEO mean? Would that mean like you're involved in a lot of scandals, or like
I guess, or you're like
your money
you're rigging
illegitimately?
things.
Okay,
just make sure I know what Fortune 500 is.
It's just like rich people, like you're very very rich.
Look,
I'll go first again.
Yeah.
I personally really don't see myself ever getting involved in politics in the future ever. And so I don't really see myself as ever being a politician, because that would just that would just be me becoming, especially a corrupt politician, that would just be me becoming like the one thing I cannot stand, right?
But you being a corrupt businessman, that's what you want to be when you...
Well, I'm getting to that. Don't be popping out on these things. And And also, like, once you're a corrupt politician, you have nowhere else to go, really. Like, once you're exposed for it, like, you're done. You have no more power. You have no more influence. It's like you don't have anywhere else to go. Um, but I I could see myself, like, obviously as like a not very likely, but I could see myself just being like, okay, I want to get rich and I want to do it in any way I can, right?
Hmm.
And it seems to me that, like, if I'm the Fortune 500 CEO and I get convicted for it, I don't know if I would lose all my money. It really doesn't seem like I would lose my money.
Yeah.
And I think in this situation, getting convicted as a Fortune 500 CEO has a lot more power and influence than getting convicted as a corrupt politician. Because again, the politician loses pretty much all their power. But I'm pretty sure, like, even if you're really rich and you get convicted for something really bad, like, you still keep
Yeah, you just
quite a
post
bit of your
bail.
power. Yeah, exactly. I still have, like, a good amount of my money, and I could use that money if I did something really really heinous. I could easily just, like, go into hiding and, like fly to another country and, like, just go live out my life in silence, right?
Yes.
So I think being convicted as a corrupt CEO is the way for me.
Okay. I'm gonna go with be convicted as a corrupt politician.
Okay.
Uh,
Interesting.
and the reason for that is because I think that if I was to be convicted, okay, so the way I was looking at this question is very different from the way you were looking at it. Is uh, if this happened, which would have more impact in the future so that it wouldn't happen again? And I
Okay.
think that being convicted, and I think you actually explained it pretty well. Being convicted as a rich businessman, not a lot is gonna happen to you. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, people are gonna be mad at you for a little bit, but then you use all your money or your friends who have money, and they take things away. And
Mhm.
is someone knocking on my door? No, I think it was just my chair. Okay, well, I apologize. Anyway, wow, it just sounds so much like someone's knocking on my door. Okay, back to this.
Oh.
Someone who is like a rich
Me.
businessman uh being convicted as corrupt, I think would blow over much faster than being convicted as a corrupt politician.
Okay.
I think if that happened, people would be like, oh, like, let's be more aware about who we vote for, and like really like that might start some like actual social reforms versus
Okay.
being convicted as a corrupt businessman, which I think if there was one that I could actually socially reform, that would be the one.
Mhm.
Uh, I think it would be harder for some good social change to come out of that one. So for that reason, I'm going to go with corrupt politician.
Okay. Okay. I kind of see where you're coming from, although I just don't think it's, like, really likely that, like, that kind of social reform would happen.
Yeah, no, I
Like
don't think
I
like an enormous amount of social reform would happen, but I think definitely people would learn from that more than they would a corrupt Fortune 500 CEO.
I yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Cuz I mean, think about like Nixon and how much we hear about him and like how
Mm.
much we've learned from him. And think about a rich CEO who was corrupt that was convicted recently. Can you think of any? No. Do you think there have been more convicted corrupt CEOs than convicted corrupt politicians? Yes.
Okay,
but
that actually makes a lot of sense. The
but one
Nixon
of them has
example
made
makes a
like
lot of
an
sense.
enormous amount of impact, and the others
Right.
have been like swept under the rug because again of their financial wealth. And I think you put it very well.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and I also
I mean,
understand your point a lot.
instead Nixon was a great example there. Actually, I was more thinking of someone like Epstein. I think that's how you say
Mm.
his name. That
Hmm.
guy recently who is convicted of, being a bad person towards some young
Yes.
people. Um,
Yes.
and like obviously everyone was super enraged about that, but like death his death was obviously shady, and everyone called the government out on that. But I don't believe anything has happened with that case. Like nothing has really, like, I feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not the most up to date with
Yeah. No,
current events,
I
but
wouldn't be on that specific case either.
but yeah, just I feel like not much happened.
Yeah, I don't
there,
think
so.
it's a huge, like, I don't think it's like, yes, there will be social reform, but I think there's a higher chance of there being social reform.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, of course.
We're gonna go with James's answer. Corrupt Fortune 500 CEO. There's so much political drama on this one. I'm a little too much. Where are the funny questions? Oh, here we go.
Uh, listen to as much quote. Let's just skip this one.
Yeah, this is a
I
little
think this one's a
confusing.
little.
Uh, okay.
Okay.
Would you rather be trapped with a tamed tiger or be trapped with a rabid squirrel?
This one's pretty obvious for me. I don't know
It
about
sounds
you.
like one of them is gonna hurt me and the other one is not.
Yeah.
Are we in agreement?
Yeah, we're definitely. I've seen rabies before and what it can do, and it's very not pretty. Like it
Yeah.
is not. It
And
is
a
not something
squirrel,
you
like,
want.
yeah, it's small, but that thing is fast. Like, there's a reason as a kid you were never able to catch up to a squirrel. And I doubt that
Yeah,
as an
exactly.
adult or, like, a whatever age you are, you're gonna catch up with that squirrel. A tamed tiger, I'm assuming it's a tiger that's tamed to not kill me, you know?
Hmm.
So,
And I guess some people would be scared of it, but I personally, if as long as it's tamed, I don't have an issue with
yeah, I
it.
have no problemo with that.
Also, even if it wasn't tamed, I think I would rather be mauled than get rabies. I will be honest here.
Wow, okay. I don't have that much experience with rabies, but I guess, well, for another day. Um,
Oh,
Thank you,
interesting.
Brian.
Thank
Would
you,
you rather have a
Brian.
Pepsi or have a
Age-old
Coke?
debate.
James, are you a big soda drinker?
I I unfortunately am not a big soda drinker,
Okay.
actually. I don't know. I was just like I've always been told that, soda is very bad. It has lots of sugar and
It
it'll
is. No,
it's
it
bad.
definitely isn't good for you.
So I usually mostly only drink water, and
Hmm.
if I were to have a soda, it'd be like the fruit flavor ones, like Fanta or something.
Yeah.
Um, so I like most of my life, I don't think I've only drank like Coke or Pepsi like less than 10 times in my life. I don't really have a
Hmm.
preference with either. I just don't like either of them.
Well, now you
So
have to pick one.
this one's tough for me. I guess Pepsi, because it's blue and I like blue. That's my favorite color.
You mean the can?
Yeah, the can.
Okay.
It's like blue and red, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I used to be not a big soda drinker, but I used to drink soda more often than I do now. And my favorite soda is actually cherry Coke. Um,
Mm.
but I will say that Pepsi is also pretty. I think I'm gonna go with Coke. I think that
Okay.
this is fine. I
Any
haven't had
any
enough. I don't think I've had
details?
enough Pepsi. I think I also like have had Pepsi maybe less than 10 times in my life.
Okay,
Um, definitely had Coke a lot more. So, and
that
I
makes
think that's
sense.
just like the big juggernaut company happening. So we'll just go with Pepsi though. I will say that I've never disliked like I never drank Pepsi and was like garbage. So at least as far as I can remember. Um,
Mhm.
and I haven't had either recently enough to make a big decision. So we'll go with James's answer. Have a Pepsi. That's about
Wow.
what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, but
A
still,
million people say have a Coke.
that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Thank you, Brian.
Real rude.
Be would you rather be topless all the time or be pantsless all the time?
Well, does pantsless mean like you can wear shorts?
No, I think it means like you're in your underwear all the time.
Oh, well, I think this is pretty obvious for me.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
gonna
know
go
about
with
you.
be topless. I mean,
Yeah.
I yeah. Let's move on.
I
There's not even a debate there. It's like, oh,
don't know who these people are.
oh, well then we'll skip this. Um, Super Grover is Grover's secret identity from Sesame Street. I don't know who
Oh,
Quail Man is.
that's sad.
Uh, do you know who these people are, James?
I know they are, but this is gonna be tough for me.
Okay, we'll skip this one. I would be with Taylor Swift, by the way, even though Beyonce is a queen.
I probably also would say Taylor Swift, but I don't really.
Okay. So, would you rather only be able to speak via a translator or only speak when asked a question? So the translator would listen to what you say and then relay it to the desired person. You would still be able to listen slash understand people with the translator.
Interesting. I I think only being able to speak with the translator is not that bad. You're just kind of speaking with a delay. You know what I mean? Like in
Mm-hmm.
this scenario, you can still understand the other people and you can still like directly talk to them. You just speak with a delay, which is the translator. So I don't think it's that big of an issue. Whereas only speaking when asked a question, like that limits your speaking capabilities so much.
Yeah.
Like sure, I think you could probably get around in day-to-day life, but like attempting to have a conversation with somebody, like it's not gonna happen, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and so like
I'm
we could
assuming
do
that
this.
when they say only speak when asked a question, they're also going to refer to sign language. Because I was thinking, oh, I can just sign around it, but ASL is technically it is a language, so I'm gonna count it as.
Yeah. And you know, we can do this beautiful podcast together if I could only speak when asked a question.
That's true, actually. Um,
Um,
I was leaning towards only speak when asked a question because I don't like the idea of someone else always being there when I'm having every single conversation.
mhm.
You know, like what if
I
I'm
I
I
guess
don't know.
there obviously has to be a level of trust there. Um, but I think you could probably like okay, for the folks that back home that don't really know this story. Um, recently, I have, or well, during quarantine, Armand has hopped into this wonderful game. Called Doki Doki Literature Club, which, if you don't know, it doesn't really matter. It's a rather infamous visual novel dating sim type game.
Yeah.
Um, and I really enjoyed watching him play it. So much so that recently I started up my own little mini series called "Playing Visual Novels" because Armand won't finish DDLC.
It's
Uh,
so crazy.
it's
By the
a
way, if
it's
you
a
guys want
it's
to see us play one of those games, either James is going to name his game, either DDLC or what is it called, James?
it's called Katawa Shoujo. And
Katawa
it's
Shoujo. You want to see us play either of those? Put it in the comment section below. We're going to play a lot of games,
Mhm.
but continue, James. Sorry, Katawa
Yes,
Shoujo.
yes. So recently, yeah, with that series, I discovered this really neat game, like I said, Katawa Shoujo, um, where basically you are someone that gets sent to a school for disabled children, and the story just centers around you, like trying to deal with life there and like make friends and like potentially find a romantic interest. As most visual novels do. And one
Did
of
you find
the
one,
one
James?
not yet. We're not there yet. I will say. We won't talk about the other thing that happened, but
Yes.
it's okay. Um, yeah, one of the main people you can interact with in that game is a fully deaf person that comes with a translator, and seeing their interactions and how they like they're obviously like very close people, and just watching them like interact with each other and out towards the world, it's very I don't know if endearing is the right word, but it's definitely very it's not a bad thing in my opinion, which is what I'm like kind of mostly basing this decision off of, just
Mm-hmm.
my experience with that story.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that the only speak when asked a question is just so limiting in
Hmm.
conversation. Like even if like I want to have like a conversation just between another me and another person, only being able to speak via a translator is definitely a much better option than just only speak when asked a question. It puts a lot less struggle on the other person that you're speaking with, and you can just have a more normal conversation. So I think we're both in agreement on translator.
Sounds good.
All right. And wow, okay,
Wow,
very
that's
very close.
super close.
Yeah.
That's a lot closer than I was expecting.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting as many people to pick the question one. That's interesting. Okay. Thank you, Sam Dunn. Ben says, success is relative. Would you rather be a content failure or be an unhappy success?
I think we're going to disagree here.
I think we are going to disagree here. Failure and success would be in relation to something you care about. Oh, so I'm already a content failure. Just kidding. I mean, I think you're saying you're an unhappy success, and I'm a content failure. Yeah.
I really think that would be the case. I mean, I could definitely live with myself if I accomplished something, but was unhappy about the way I got there, or unhappy about my current state. In many things in life, it's just like, the goal is all that matters, at least for me. And that's how I've lived my life for many, many years. So I think being successful in something but not being too happy about it is something I could definitely live with. Whereas with being a content failure, like I mean, it would be nice, but like the idea of the failure would always hang over my head, and I don't think.
But then you wouldn't be content.
I guess, but I don't know if it's really fully possible for me to be a content failure. I suppose.
See, my thing is that being content is kind of like my goal. Like, if I'm not content with what I'm going to be doing, I'm not interested. Yeah, like, sure, I could be whatever, like what's something that makes a lot of money? Like a doctor. Make $1 million bajillion dollars and whatever, but I wouldn't be happy doing it. And I feel like I would be stressed out and I wouldn't be helping people in the way that I want to. And so I would stop, I don't think that I would enjoy that. I don't think that the people that I would want to spend my life with would enjoy me being an unhappy person. I'd much rather be a content failure. I think, like, I don't know. I'm not assuming that it means, like, I'm content with failing at everything. But I'm assuming that it means, like, I'm okay with it and I'm going to move, like, forward, I don't think there's much else to say there. I think.
Yeah. I mean, and this honestly, I mean, this could apply to anything. Like, it doesn't have to be some life-changing event. It could be something small,
It should be like winning in Smash Bros. Like, you're an unhappy success because you have to play Yoshi, but you can possibly win. And I'll be a content failure because it means I don't have to play Yoshi anymore.
Really railing on Yoshi today.
Wow, okay, very close.
It's pretty even.
That actually makes sense. It's very close. I did think maybe it was going to lean towards unhappy success. But that makes sense, actually, now that I think.
Thank you, Ben.
Would you rather never be able to eat Chipotle again or never eat dessert again?
Wow.
Interesting. So this person is assuming that we love Chipotle.
And they would be correct in that assumption, at least for me.
Yeah. I mean, I love Chipotle also, but I'm just thinking, like...
This is tough. This is real tough.
Because I'm not a sweet tooth person. I don't love dessert. But, like... Chipotle is so specific, I guess. Like, it's not a large part of my diet. Like, I think I like Chipotle because I like Mexican food. Not necessarily because I specifically like Chipotle.
Right.
Which I know is a heinous thing to say. I know there are I've been friends with a lot of humongous Chipotle fans. I just, I think dessert is too broad, and I don't have a big enough preference between the two.
I really, really like dessert. I'm a very sweet tooth kind of person. And would you count ice cream as a dessert?
I
Do
think
you?
so.
Okay. But like what if I'm not eating it as a dessert? You know?
Then I
Like
think
what if
that
I'm
this
just eating
question
a
is
cash?
too not. I think dessert is literally just like any dessert food item.
Okay. I think oh my gosh, that makes me I think this really comes down to specifically ice cream for me. Like Chipotle. Okay, this is actually I don't know how this is so specific for me, but Chipotle is probably my favorite fast food chain ever.
Wow. Okay.
I've been able to go like I believe I mentioned this in a different podcast, but when I was volunteering at the library, I basically went like 2 weeks straight eating Chipotle every day
Hmm.
of the week for lunch, and I
Damn.
never got tired of it. Like it's the
Yeah.
only fast food chain where like I can 100% say for sure that like I never ever get tired of it, and I really like I like it so much. Like I
Hmm.
very much look forward to it. If there's ever an option between like different restaurants to go to, I will like almost 100%
Wow.
pick
We should go to
Chipotle.
Chipotle so much more often,
I
or
would
maybe
love
not,
to.
depending on how we answer this question.
But also like ice cream has been a big part of my life for so long. Like I love eating ice cream so much, and I love going to ice cream places in general that it makes me that it's just really really tough for me. But
Here's my thing: is that everything at Chipotle like it's just the things from Chipotle. Like it's not like burritos in general, or like guacamole in general, or like chips in general. But like dessert is like nope, dessert. Like that like not like I don't know what a dessert. Not Rick's ice cream. It's like literally dessert. And
yeah,
that's what pushes it over for me because I love Chipotle also, and I agree. I think I could eat it and never get tired of it probably as well. But I also like I feel that way not just because it's Chipotle, but because it's like Mexican food, or
hmm
Americanized Mexican food. So
I think originally here I was definitely leaning towards never eat dessert again. But I think you definitely have convinced me. Chipotle is too specific,
it's just yeah,
and
because
yeah,
even
it's just too
even
specific.
I don't like sweets that much, but I think that that limits me so much more. Like I'm definitely
Mhm.
gonna eat more sweets in my life than I will Chipotle.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down
And I
to.
just I don't know. I like Chipotle, but I also like there's this amazing place that our family loves. This Mexican place called
mm,
Tres Amigos that makes like amazing Mexican food, and I would be happy to go there for the rest of my life instead of Chipotle.
mm,
Like I wouldn't be crying over it.
right.
I wouldn't necessarily be crying over never eating dessert again, but also wow. Oh wait, no.
Wow. Oh wait, oh no, that
Oh,
actually
I
makes
clicked
more
the
sense.
wrong one,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, yeah. Oh
Oops.
well.
Well, never mind.
Um,
We are never eating Chipotle again. That's what we meant.
yeah, that was probably the toughest one for me so far.
Okay.
Oh,
If you were offered the chance, would you rather leave Earth forever and live with a race of aliens, or get to meet a race of aliens but stay on Earth?
okay. This is
The aliens
so.
are peaceful, and you would be able to communication with them.
Oh, I would be able to communication with them.
Wait, so the race of aliens stay on Earth, or we stay on Earth, but we get
I
to meet them?
think we stay on Earth. Like we fly out to meet them, and then we stay on Earth.
I'm gonna okay easily right out the gate. I'm picking the second one because I space terrifies me, and I think space
Really?
travel is too much for me. And
Wait, I
I
want to
would
hear more about this. This is really interesting. I never knew this before.
space doesn't terrify. Okay, that's a lie. But space used to terrify me as a kid. I was
Mhm.
really scared of outer space.
Wow,
Um,
why didn't you bring this up in the Fears podcast? What the heck?
because I have a lot of fears, and it would have been
Yeah.
like a 7 hour podcast.
Okay.
uh, and I'm also not that scared of outer space now because like it's not an everyday occurrence to me. Uh, but now it is in this question. And I also I like being at home. I don't want to move. I've lived in the
Mhm.
same place my whole life. I'm very boring. I love to if it was like visit Earth and chill with aliens. That would be awesome. But I can't leave Earth forever and live with a race of aliens. I have too much going on here. You know, I have my family is here. You know, like
Mhm.
what what am I gonna do there? Like, do I just start over my life? Like, I know for some people that's very appealing, uh, and it's saying that it's somewhat appealing to me, but it's it's not appealing enough for me to leave Earth forever and live with this race of aliens that I have no idea who they are. As even though they're peaceful and I would be able to communication with them,
I think
I I, I think I would rather meet them but stay on Earth.
I think for me, it really like depends on what kind of race of aliens this is. Like, it
They're
really
peaceful.
like I think obviously they're peaceful, but like this question is just too broad. Like, what if the aliens are like Neanderthals or like monkeys, you know, on another planet? Like, I wouldn't want to go like live with monkeys, you know. But if they were like a billion years in the
Tell that to
future with
Jane
like
Goodall.
with free Chipotle every day, you know, I I mean, I would love to live in a technologically advanced civilization that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, can like get me whatever I want without much hassle with
Yeah,
it.
I didn't even think
Um,
about that. If they're like not like super advanced aliens, like that's even more boring. Like,
yeah. So I think if it's like if you don't know, I would rather not take the risk of them just being like bacteria on a different country or on a different planet, because that's technically aliens. You could count that as aliens.
yeah.
Um, so I would rather not take the risk, and the
Mm-hmm.
way you explained it is pretty good. I'm okay with staying here and not taking that
I
risk.
just
So
I don't want to move forever just for
yeah,
some aliens, you know? Even if they are
yeah.
technologically advanced. Like, I can't, I can't bring my mom with me. Like, it just says leave Earth forever. Like, I never come
Yeah.
back. And that's a little too much. Too much. So
Sure.
are we both in agreement on staying on
Mhm.
Earth? And so is
Yeah.
most of the people, except for the sad folks who hate it here.
Mhm.
Speaking of sad folks, sad
Whoa!
kids. Kill a unicorn in front of thousands of children. Kill a beloved dolphin in front of thousands of children.
Wow! Wow! What an interesting question. Jeez. Gosh.
Um,
I'm assuming the unicorn is like a real unicorn, you know?
yeah, but it's not beloved, which makes me,
It's not beloved.
I'm leaning towards that one because it's not beloved. But I have to think about this.
I think, okay, here's my logic. Hear me out here. Hear me out here. In this hypothetical
Are you
situation,
gonna gather the unicorn's resources because they would be rare?
well, let me get to that.
Continue, please. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spoil the
um,
surprise.
Here's what I'm thinking. So I think from pretty young, most people are told that unicorns are not real. I think like maybe like 5 year olds and below believe in unicorns, but
Interesting. So you could get away. You're saying with.
I think most children do not think unicorns are real.
Okay.
And here's what I'm thinking, okay? Here's my ingenious plan to not anger anyone while still killing the unicorn. So what we do is we set up a kids TV show, um, and we will basically like bring the unicorn on as like a magical unicorn, you know, but it's a real unicorn.
Yes.
Um, and then we kill it indiscreetly. Obviously, we're not gonna like take a chainsaw to its head on public television, but we would be like, oh no, the unicorn exploded because the bad guy hates unicorns. Um, and then we would pass it all off as a TV show, you know? And so I feel like I could get away with killing a unicorn in front of thousands of children if I was smart about it. Whereas if I killed a beloved dolphin, like it's a beloved dolphin. First of all, people know that it's real. We already know dolphins are real, and this is gonna be a real dolphin. And if it's beloved, like you don't want to see something that you love die. You know, if you have an emotional connection to this dolphin, like if you watch it die, you're not going to be chill with it. Whereas you have
Yeah.
no connection with this unicorn whatsoever.
Other than
So
the fact that it's a unicorn.
other than the fact that it's a unicorn,
Yeah.
but again, I think if you pull some mental gymnastics, you could get away with
I
this.
I agree that I would kill a unicorn. I don't know if I specifically was thinking of having an elaborate plan. Like I don't know if I have those resources to do that. But I think specifically because for two reasons. One is that yes, I think that since unicorns aren't proven to be real, like if they were real in this universe, like yeah, people would believe it, and so killing it would be less controversial. The second point is that it's not beloved. Like it's beloved maybe because it's a unicorn and that's awesome, but this dolphin is beloved. It's like it's a beloved public thing. Like it's if I killed you, James, and then versus like killing like I don't know.
Then like two people would be sad.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a mythic, unreal figure that nobody believes in. I was gonna say Jesus, but a lot of people believe in him.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going with the unicorn. Your explanation was very entertaining. I like your plan. My plan was gonna be something more like I was just thinking like I'm like hiking with thousands of children and there's a unicorn in the forest and then I just kill it. And they're like, why would you do that? And then I was like, no, it's not real. And they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's epic. That's real epic.
And yeah, a lot of people agree with us.
People agree.
Definitely, there are some unicorn lovers who would kill a beloved dolphin. So. Would you rather have? You will need to have two left shoes, by the way, if you get two left feet, two left hands.
You will need to have two left shoes. You can go first on this one.
I think I'm gonna go with two left feet. It's a bit easier to work around, I think, than having two left hands.
Yeah, I want to know, what's the disadvantage of having two left feet? Other than having two left shoes.
Walking is definitely going to be weird, because the way your feet are shaped is very specific for how you walk.
Yeah, it's going to be weird, but I'm assuming you can still do it.
You can definitely still do it, but it would be like, you would be like stumbling and like a little bit, I'm assuming. I mean, there's a reason they make fun of people who like are clumsy by saying you have two left feet.
But also, I'm right-handed. I like with my left hand, I can't do anything. I can't like write with it.
I think two left feet, is definitely the move. I mean, even if you had two right hands, like you do more with your hands than you do with your feet.
Yeah, exactly. So I think two left feet is.
And you can always get crutches, or a wheelchair, which again is not ideal. To have to go into, but we've seen many people without hands and many people without feet, like perform amazing things and just be normal people in society. So, but I think that my preference, I would go with two left feet.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah. Okay,
right.
Two left feet, and very split.
Wow, that's very even. Gosh dang.
I guess the two left shoes really.
Yeah. People don't like buying two left shoes. Zach Dunn up here again.
Would you rather?
I don't know who Pee Wee Herman is.
I don't know either, but I think I would definitely either way go with Morgan Freeman and Dresser. Woo! Do you know the comic strip Calvin and Hobbes?
Is Hobbes the tiger?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know anything about this comic strip. Like I know who they are, but I don't know like anything about their personality.
Then I'm gonna quickly skip over this for you. I would rather be Hobbes. Calvin is just hated too much by everyone, and being Hobbes is an epic man. Well, he does a lot of crappy things to people.
I see.
And I think I'd rather be Hobbes because I get to have all the fun that Calvin does without any of the trouble. So.
Got you. Well, let's click on it. I don't know.
Oh, I should have clicked on it. Let's go. Oh, wow. Interesting.
Most people disagree.
I guess Hobbes is possibly imaginary, so that makes sense.
Maybe.
Would you rather dress like people would hundreds of years ago, or dress like a person from the future? Your wardrobe would be noticeably out of place either way. While we can't precisely say what the future attire would look like, we can assume jumpsuits and silver will play a role. Okay.
Jumpsuits and silver? Why? Is that...
Probably some Back to the Future or something.
No. I am just going to quickly look up what 1900s fashion was like.
I don't even have to look at 1900s fashion. I'm definitely going to dress like a person from the future. Because fashion recently is like you can wear weird things that nobody has seen before and it's a fashion statement. But like wearing I'm assuming the 1900s has the humongous dresses and stuff and whatever and like the robes.
I don't think I'm going to be wearing a dress.
I mean, yeah, but like the wigs and like the weird tailcoats. It just definitely I'd rather dress like a person in the future.
Okay.
Plus jumpsuits and silver, I already wear those.
I'm kind of conflicted just because I have no idea what a person from the future might look like.
That's true.
It might be something that's like wholly uncomfortable for me. Like it's just like I don't know. It's just kind of a gamble for me.
More uncomfortable than the 1900s. Describe the 1900s fashion to us.
Well, it's just like fancy suits
I'll
and
flash
a top
picture
hat.
on the screen.
Sure. It's just like fancy top hats and like boiler hats. It's just like fancy, what we would consider fancy clothes, you know? And it's honestly not too bad. I guess it would be a little high maintenance, but like...
What's to say
I feel like
future clothing isn't, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just more comfortable being sure about what I would wear, and I'm okay with it. Like I'm okay with wearing these kinds of things.
I think actually part of my reasoning is also that I'm curious to see what people from the future dress like. Like curiosity might get the better of me here. But yeah, okay. So James is gonna dress like people would hundreds of years ago. How many more of these should we do? Oh wow, okay. James, you're in the minority here. James, how many more of these questions do we want to do?
I don't know. What's our time looking like?
I have no clue. I'm gonna cut for a second.
Okay, so can I say
you can say whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. I would just like to say that I'm sorry about what I said earlier about the 37th president. It just like came out of my mouth and I really I was not thinking about it. So I hope you cut it out at the recording because
no, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back.
Kind of embarrassing.
All right. Nothing happened there. We're probably gonna do 3 final questions, James. How does that make you feel?
Sounds good.
That sounds amazing. And I don't like this one.
All right.
I like this one.
Oh my goodness.
Called "My Eyes Are Bleeding" added by Fells. And would you rather only use Comic Sans or only use Papyrus?
These are 2 very random fonts. I wonder what the connection between these 2 fonts are.
Yes.
Well, anyways, Papyrus does not look like a very good font in my opinion. Not for casual use, anyways. Comic Sans is already used all over the place. Like you can see it. Like if you just go outside and look around and look at store fronts or stuff, you'll eventually spot Comic Sans. It's not the most out of place font in the world, and it's just a generally casual font that doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, Papyrus feels very, very out of place. In my opinion. It's just it's not a good looking font in my opinion.
If you're writing a school assignment, you could possibly get away with Comic Sans, but
no, I think you're losing points either way. But I think I accepted that this question is making me lose some points in school essays. But I would be more. I think my teacher would have an easier time reading Comic Sans than they would.
Yeah.
And people in general, not just my teacher, but people in general would.
Yeah, I just think Comic Sans is a better looking font in general.
All right, so. I think most people will agree with us here. Oh!
Wow, that's pretty split. Jeez.
Yeah, maybe that's really not thinking about what Papyrus is. Okay. No. Would you rather? Okay. Font. Ooh! Would you rather own a lightsaber or know the ways of the Force?
I think actually, surprisingly enough, this is pretty easy for me.
I think it's pretty easy for you also. I think it's a little difficult for me though. Because knowing the ways of the Force obviously would be very, very epic and awesome and very cool. And definitely you have a lot more power than you would have if you owned a lightsaber. Not that owning a lightsaber means you don't have power. But I feel like that could also be a little scary having that much power, because what if the government finds out and is like, we're gonna take him in? And,
Oh, that's a good point, actually. I didn't think of that.
and this is always my thing with superpower questions. You know, I don't know if you know about my comic world that I've been writing, but
No, I don't.
very similar thing happens in that world to the heroes. Not necessarily like in an evil manner, but like they have less of a role in their destinies than like they probably would have if they didn't have
Right.
powers.
But couldn't you argue that with the lightsaber as well? It'd just get confiscated.
I think you could, but I don't think your whole life would be changed if your lightsaber got taken away versus like if you yourself got taken away.
Right.
And I think it's possible that you can get the lightsaber back once they figure out the technology, but then everybody might own a lightsaber. This is not supposed to be this intense of a question. Sorry for overthinking your question. And either way, I think that having a lightsaber is very cool, and I wouldn't be sad to have that. I wouldn't be sad either way, and I think that I would probably end up using the ways of the Force to do something stupid, even though a lightsaber also you could do plenty of stupid things. I'm going to go with lightsaber. That's what I will say.
I think for me, it's just about like with the lightsaber, sure, it's a cool weapon, but like I don't know. I can't really think of many things that I would personally do with it off the top of my head.
That's also true, yeah.
Whereas the ways with the Force, like yes, like if people find out about it, it's kind of bad, and I didn't account for that at first, but I think I could do a decent job of hiding it. And
mind tricks on everybody, dude.
Sure.
You know what?
But I was also just thinking, like, in general, as a convenience feature, I could just, like, be using it in my own home for, like, convenient things when I just need, like, an extra hand, you know?
I think you're right.
So,
I think I would now that I'm thinking about it, like, owning a lightsaber is very cool, but I probably would get the same feeling out of, like, getting one of those prop lightsabers.
yeah. And in a life-threatening scenario, like in an emergency and life-threatening scenario, I think knowing the Force is more helpful than owning a lightsaber because you have to have the lightsaber on you, whereas you have the Force at all times.
And the Force can do more. Like, what if someone's falling off a cliff? Like, the lightsaber's not going to be very helpful.
Yeah.
And you also, the thing is that you don't, like, have trained lightsaber skills either. You just have a lightsaber. But for knowing the ways of the Force, you literally know the ways of the Force. That's the thing. I think you've convinced me. I am going to be on the side of know the ways of the Force.
Sick.
No, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I definitely agree. I liked that question a lot.
Wow. Interesting.
That makes sense.
This is our last question.
All right, last question.
Oh! Whoa! Okay.
That's perfect.
Wow, what a final call.
Wow. Do we want to establish which Hyrule this is?
I would say maybe any of them that you would like.
Really? Okay. Then.
Well, I want to let me hear your argument first before we impose restrictions.
Well, because I want to live in Breath of the Wild Hyrule because I love Breath of the Wild.
But
I've only ever, by the way,
very...
I'm not a real big Zelda. Like, I'm not a real Zelda fan. I've only played Breath of the Wild, so all of you Zelda fans can come at me right now and be like, "You don't know the series. There's so much more to the characters." It's fine. You can do that.
But Breath of the Wild, Zelda, her Hyrule, is like it's a very. I mean, it's just an untamed waste. I don't want to say wasteland, but it's like a very dangerous place.
I know, but it's so exciting, and there's so much to do. You know. I like that danger to it, you know, like I think that's so cool. And there were so many times during Breath of the Wild that I was like, I would love to be there right now, just like running around.
I think personally, not saying that I'm choosing Hyrule just yet, but if I were to choose Hyrule, I definitely would go for Skyloft. I think Skyloft is definitely the coolest version of Hyrule that I can think. But even actually, would that even count as Hyrule? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because
Skyloft is
like
from which Zelda game?
Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can count it. We can count it. I mean, like,
sure.
we'll count it. That's
Yeah.
that's interesting. I didn't think about. I mean, I don't know too much about the Zelda games. But Skyloft.
Skyloft is just like really freaking cool. It's just like an island in the in the sky, and like you can ride on birds and stuff. It's just so cool. Whereas most
I'm still. There's a reason Breath of the Wild is
right.
acclaimed for that expansive uh, world. I'm just in love with that world, and I really want to go back to playing that game soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if I'm allowed to play in the land of the wild, the Hyrule of the Wild, uh, that's definitely a win for me. Living in the Mushroom Kingdom, yeah, I get to meet Daisy possibly, but sorry, Daisy, not enough for me to completely switch over.
I think the thing about the Mushroom Kingdom for me would probably be much more of a sense of security, you know? Because it's not like
Interesting.
there are any overt dangers within the Mushroom Kingdom, whereas
Yeah,
in
unless you're
Hyrule,
Princess Peach.
unless you're Princess Peach, but I'm not Princess Peach.
Yeah.
But like in Hyrule, you always have like Ganon trying to like destroy the world or whatever, or like in Majora's Mask, there was like a whole like moon coming towards you,
Which is
like
why you live in the Breath of the Wild world. You
I
don't get
guess.
near the
But
castle. You let Link do all the work, and then you just chill in your village and
but then there are like those defunct robots that might just like insta kill you at any
yeah.
point. You
But
know what I
all
mean?
the if you play Breath of the Wild, all of the none of the like the villagers ever seem like that freaked out about it. Like people will just
Okay.
walk through like the fields of them and they'll be like, these guardians are like whatever, like here's some info about them. And they just continue walking through. And then you
That's
walk like
so funny.
5 feet into this like graveyard of guardians, and one of them just starts attacking you, and you're like, ah! And everyone's cool about it.
Also, I think I could live a pretty luxurious life in the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, if you think about it, all the like spin-off mini game Mario games like Mario Kart, Mario Party, like all these
Ooh,
fun like
that changes things
pastimes,
actually. Hmm.
all these like fun pastimes happen in the Mushroom Kingdom, whereas you don't have any like Hyrule kart racing. You know what I mean?
Excuse me, there's shield sledding.
Oh, sorry. But I don't know, like in the Mushroom Kingdom, you just live in this like luxurious, like happy castle area. Like it's just Hyrule in general just seems like more of a dreary, untamed, dangerous place than the Mushroom Kingdom. Whereas the
Hmm.
Mushroom Kingdom just seems like a very like rich and affluent society, you know,
Yeah.
for nobles, and like it is a kingdom. So
Hmm. I think
um,
I prefer the adventure that comes with
mhm,
Hyrule. I just feel like in the Mushroom Kingdom, like I would not be having a adventurous life.
right. I think I'm okay with giving up that sense of adventure in my life. And as cool as Skyloft is, like I just think Skyloft is like the coolest freaking area in the world.
Hmm.
As cool as it is, like it is still a pretty small island confined in the sky.
Yeah, that's true.
And there isn't quite as much to do there.
Yeah,
Like
and the expansive Mushroom Kingdom. I mean, we have no idea how
yeah,
expansive
exactly.
it's
Like the
going to be.
Mushroom Kingdom, it's like huge. You can do whatever you want, you know. Hang out with all these freaking like cool people, like
Rabbids.
toads, rabbits. You can hang out with rabbits. Um, um, but yeah, the Mushroom Kingdom just seems like a happier place in general, and
Mhm.
I would like to be there.
Yeah, I'm just too much of a Breath of the Wild fanboy
Yeah, that's fair. That's
to
fair.
not love living in Breath of the Wild. There's just I could be exploring there for so long. We are
Yeah.
gonna go with live in the Mushroom Kingdom. I want to see. Okay, very split.
Damn, so even. Jeez.
Wow. Well,
What a final question to
that was a
end on.
fantastic final question. I could not have asked for a better final question. Um, thanks for joining us today. This got progressively
Yeah.
less political as we went on. Uh, So we hope you stuck around till the end to see that the Mushroom Kingdom apparently is more popular than Hyrule. Um, James, do you have anything to say? Do we want to make any announcements?
Yes. Our 10th episode is coming up, which, if you don't know, is going to be our Q&A. So please submit some questions to us. We would love to answer your questions on this podcast for our special 10th episode.
Special 10th episode.
And yeah, I mean, please. If you're an avid listener, that's great. We would love to hear from you. We have a guest sheet that we are quote unquote getting to.
Yes, and we'll link that in the bio. We should have a guest next week if all
Yes,
goes
hopefully,
well.
hopefully, and we will actually be starting to upload gaming footage very soon.
Yeah, and the best of and worst of series that we talked about in our last
that's
episode,
right.
that should be coming. I think, and I haven't talked about this with you, James, but I think we should focus on movies and TV shows for that, and we can just play the games regardless. Because I think we'd rather play the games together, and we can watch the TV shows and movies separately. Yeah. I'd rather play the games with you instead of separately and then talk about them later.
That's sick.
But yeah, if you have a mouse and a clicking button, hit the subscribe button and the like button and the comment button, and then go ahead and bang your hands and head on the keyboard and type a little comment, and then click on the comment button again, and it'll put a little comment. And yeah, if you agreed with us, comment below. If you disagreed with us, comment below. If you want to see more Would You Rather, comment below. Comment below. Any comments, James?
Don't be afraid to let your parents know that what you did was not right. You know what you did. Don't forget about it.
The Absolute Idiot Podcast.